Change, Finding Your Fire, a weekly podcast with Meena Puri, an Ayurvedic practitioner and spiritual teacher who brings the ancient, time-tested wisdom of Ayurveda in this time of great upheaval and global ascension to inspire you to the next level of your spiritual evolution. She will discuss all topics related to your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Are you ready to be free of all suffering and soar to your heart's calling? Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on this live podcast for Igniting Change, Finding Your Fire. I'm Meena Puri of Ayurveda Healing Center. So today's topic, as I mentioned in my last episode, that we will continue to speak about food and how to heal your relationship with food rather, and until we don't have anything more to say, which is not going to be anytime soon. So the topic of today, I thought the heading says, do we need food or love? It's a trick question. Of course, we need both. So I'm talking about emotional hunger here, with our emotions on the surface level of our knowing and food in abundance. We need comfort. So we turn to food for comfort, which it provides immediate comfort. I mean, who does not like food? I love food. I love to cook. I love to eat. But I'm talking about something deeper than that. So it is when our emotional world is in upheaval, we're looking for comfort. That comfort can come from substances, drug use. That comfort can also come from alcohol. That comfort can also come from seemingly harmless food. Did you know that food is a major cause, a big causative factor in disease? And if I don't have to tell you the state of the world health today. It's not anybody that nobody knows about it. So where do we start? How do we end this cycle of eating our emotions? Then that gives rise to feeling more guilt and anger and shame, the good old shame and pain and whatnot. And now guess what? We need more food to stuff those emotions, and more food. And and here it is. Here we end up in that perpetual downward cycle of emotional eating. Then when we continue to carry on with that cycle, it's hard to distinguish emotional hunger from real hunger. What feels hunger, physical hunger, many times is actually emotional hunger. It's just that we lose our acute sense of awareness when we are continuously use the food to pacify our emotions. So, good place to start is my book, Why Reinvent the Wheel, when I've written everything in this book, Healing Your Relationship with Food. By the way, if you don't have a copy, what are you waiting for? This is a mini Bible of Ayurveda. But not only that, I provide you with the struggles that we face today with food and how Ayurveda, the mind, body, soul medicine, can help you overcome those struggles. I also include about 40 my favorite recipes, but easy to use recipes. And you're going to hear, my little rant about the food industry, the pharma, our state of our health and whatnot. But really, ultimately, the responsibility is in the hands of each and every one of us. And I think that's what I love about Ayurvedic practice, about my work, because I hand that responsibility over to the clients because it really is theirs. So, I'm not in the business of collecting clients. I'm in the business of healing people so they don't need me. And this is why Ayurveda is needed, the knowledge is needed, because it's giving the responsibility, it's giving the power for you to change your health, to change your life in your hands where it belongs, And it does that through knowledge, through tools that you can begin to use in your life to gain that inspiration, to gain the experience, to gain the wisdom. So, get a copy of this book if you don't have. I'll put the link here below. You can get a digital copy. Although this is a big book, 200-page book, you probably want to get a paper copy available on Amazon. All right. So in chapter 2, I talk about emotional hunger. Emotions are at the center of every aspect of our life. They can either propel us towards a particular outcome or take us away from it. When we love what we do more of it. But when our hearts are not into something, we drag our feet and eventually stop doing it. We all know that. Whatever it is we do it because we get emotional satisfaction from it. Eating is no exception. Emotions or food are directly linked. Our physical satisfaction or nourishment is not separate from our emotional satisfaction. Most of us look forward to eating and we enjoy food. I love food. We can't think on an empty stomach. A cup of chai on a cold winter day is such a comfort. Coffee in the morning makes many people happy. Food is at the very center of our existence, our lives. The kitchen is where the family gathers. Food is a celebration of life, our connectedness, and a way to share the love. So it's a shame when we use food in a negative sense to harm ourselves. Our first experience of love was when we were fed by our mothers. Eating imparted the feelings of satisfaction, love, happiness, warmth, nourishment, and comfort. I often hear clients who need to make some serious nutritional changes say, "This is how my partner loves me, by cooking for me." Many times it may not be such good food. Perhaps, or healthy food, I should say. Perhaps, or you know what, or it's so good that you end up overeating and it happens every day. That can be a problem. Perhaps they can love you a little less. I have laughingly responded. It is no surprise that when love is missing in our lives, we turn to food. This is a point to notice. When love is missing in our lives, we turn to food. Okay, so it's a separate topic, but I'm talking about the love that you feel within, the love that you are. If you have love of a lover, a partner, a family, that's so wonderful. Okay. How we relate to food is how we relate to ourselves. When we eat well and healthy, we feel good and confident about ourselves and in our ability to take care of ourselves in a positive way. Similarly, when we overeat, eat too little, or eat unhealthily, we feel bad about ourselves. In that sense, all eating is emotional. However, food cannot be the only source of our emotional fulfillment. That's where the problem is. The problem arises when we turn to food to stuff down our painful emotions, or we use food to make up for what we lack in other areas of our life. We're bored. Let's eat something. Let's eat something fun. I don't know what to do. Let me open the refrigerator and the snack cupboard. It is important to note that while most emotional eating is linked to unpleasant feelings, it can also be triggered by positive emotions, such as rewarding oneself for achieving a goal or celebrating a holiday or a special event. Using food from time to time as a pick-me-up or to celebrate is not a bad thing. We have all experienced emotional eating at least once in our lives, if not more often. It is only a problem when it becomes a pattern that we cannot break. It's like every time you feel a little sad and hurt, it's, oh my God, I need a cookie or something, right? We've all done that. So here I'm going to share with you what emotional hunger might look like, or really emotional eating. And then I'll talk about emotional hunger. What are the signs? Okay. So here's emotional eating: making room for dessert even when we are already full, diving into a pint of ice cream when we feel down, opening the refrigerator when we feel upset, angry, lonely, stressed, exhausted, or just plain bored, rewarding ourselves with food or punishing ourselves by not eating at all, binging or starving, feeling powerless or out of control around food, eating out of nervousness, constantly thinking about food and eating, turning to food when painful emotions surface. Everyone's story is different and unique to them. Nonetheless, our internal struggles show up in our eating habits. Regardless of our reasons, food only provides a temporary solution. Eating for reasons other than hunger not only causes health problems, but it also does not take our challenges away. We continue to feel emotionally upset. It actually stuffs the emotions deeper into our subconscious, making them even stronger. Imagine that. And leading to more emotional eating. This keeps us stuck in the pattern. So take a pause here. There was a lot I said. So just take a pause. And it's not that we do this from time to time. We're all going to do this. We're not robots. Life happens, shit happens. We're humans, okay? And don't judge yourself everything you do. Don't get paranoid. Don't get over analytical. Be easy, take it easy. But I'm talking about when there's like starving and binging, when I'm talking about when there's obesity happening, weight gain is happening, and it's affecting, your mood, your sleep, your relationship, when you really are surrounded by food. So I'm talking about something acute here, not just from time to time eating more than we need to. So take a minute to think about where in your life is that a problem. If it's not a problem, then you're good, but you can still tune in. Maybe someone else might need this knowledge. Emotional hunger can be just as powerful as physical hunger, and it's easily mistaken as such until we pay attention. It is important to figure out ways to differentiate the two. Here are the top 5 clues that I have summarized from Harvard Medical School Special Health Report. So you better listen up. Number 1, emotional hunger comes on suddenly. It hits you in an instant and feels overwhelming and urgent. Physical hunger, on the other hand, comes on more gradually. The urge to eat doesn't feel as dire or demand instant satisfaction, unless you haven't eaten for a very long time. Clue number 2, emotional hunger craves specific comfort foods. When you're physically hungry, almost anything sounds good, including healthy stuff. But emotional hunger craves fatty foods, sugary snacks that provide an instant rush. It's like a drug. Sugar is very addictive. It's been proven to show same detrimental physical effects like drugs do. You feel like you need chocolate or pizza and nothing else will do. Ever feel like that? Emotional hunger often leads to mindless eating. Before you know it, that's number 3, by the way. Before you know it, you've eaten a whole bag of chips or an entire pint of ice cream without really paying attention to the food or fully enjoying it. Once you start, you can't stop. You must finish a whole bag of cookies. In that sense, it looks like an addiction. Often my clients will say, I didn't even remember eating the whole bag. When you're eating in response to physical hunger, you're typically more aware of what you are eating. Clue number 4, emotional hunger isn't satisfied once you're full. You keep wanting more and more, often eating until you're uncomfortably stuffed. Physical hunger, on the other hand, doesn't need to be stuffed. You feel satisfied when your stomach is full. Clue number 5, emotional hunger isn't located in the stomach. When you're physically hungry, your stomach growls. You can hear it. You begin to even get a headache. Rather than a growling belly or a pang in your stomach, you feel your hunger as a craving you can't get out of your head. You're focused on specific textures, smells, and tastes. Just looking at the time. One of the insidious things about any negative cycle is that it is self-perpetuating. It is self-reinforcing, self-promoting. Emotional eating leads to more emotional eating. How can we break this cycle? I'm a firm believer in the idea that how we do one thing is how we do everything, because we show up in everything. If we don't change, then we don't change. The way we eat is inseparable from our core beliefs about ourselves, about the world, and about life in general. As we bring more fulfillment and more balance into our lives, food does not take center stage. It simply becomes a necessary and enjoyable way to nourish ourselves. So, the goal is to lessen the effect emotions have on our eating habits. But first, we must understand the extent of this effect. I'm going to share some tools that have proven to work in my clinical practice. Some of them are simple and easy, while others require a longer process. Begin with what you can do today and build upon that one tiny step at a time. That's how everything works, one step at a time. Every plan that you turn into action strengthens you and magnifies your self-reliance. Don't come from a place of despair or hopelessness. Come from a position of strength. Build on your strengths. What else in your life have you overcome? You can overcome this issue as well. And here are some tips to assist you with that. So I'm not going to read you the whole thing, but I'm going to give you in a point form. So number one, become more aware. How do we become more aware? Not just by saying I'm going to become more aware, because nothing changes internally. The level of consciousness internally does not change. So when we're talking about consciousness, we are in the field of consciousness, but consciousness is also within us. By simply meditating, so the experiences that are imprinted on our nervous system can be metabolized. The subconscious can become conscious. The burdens on the nervous system lessen. Nervous system is a seat of our consciousness. Then things become clear. We have a clear passage. We become more aware. More aware means you just simply are able to see more. You expand your view. You expand what you see. You expand what you notice. You tune into your inner knowing, your intuition. So if you don't have a meditation practice or any kind of a reflection exercise or journaling or mantra-based meditation, what are you waiting for? We cannot live in the times today without a meditation practice. We'll lose our sanity if we don't have a meditation practice. Okay, so grab a meditation practice. There's a free download of heart-based meditation on my website, ayurvedichealingcenter.com. In the description, I'll come back and edit and put the link there. Download the videos. The 2 audios, listen to them. Consecutive days, you need 1 hour each. Listen to it. You have instructions. Now you have a full practice. Do the meditation 20 minutes twice a day. Okay, so a meditation practice is a necessity if you want to stay sane. It's not a luxury. It's not meant for those monks sitting on the mountains or those who are like woo-woo consciousness. It's nothing like that. It's practical. It's for the householder. It's needed. Just like you brush your teeth, you need a meditation practice. You brush the debris off of your nervous system. Okay, so that's how you become more aware. Number 2, tune into your childhood beliefs. That's a big one when it comes to food. Were you rewarded for doing good things and punished for doing bad things? Did you hear comments like, haven't you eaten enough? You ate too much, or you are fat. No food for you because you're already fat. In those times, these were seemingly harmless comments from the perspective of our parents because they didn't really understand the psychological impact of the words they were using. It just that awareness just was not there. So they may have said it jokingly, laughingly, but to your consciousness, to the psyche, it doesn't care if something was said in a joke or not. It doesn't discriminate. It simply hears the words. It gives you an experience that that's how it is. It doesn't care what the intent. That's what I meant to say. The intent of the person saying it doesn't matter. That's when you can do the healing with your mind and really grab your thoughts around it and realize that, oh, they didn't mean it. You can forgive, etc., etc. That's healing work. So tune into your beliefs. If there are struggles in your food today, if you're emotionally eating, if you are, gaining weight, if food is your comfort that you turn to all the time, then take a moment to think about how did you grow up around food in your childhood, what are the beliefs around food, about your body image, about yourself. The beliefs like you're not perfect, you're not good enough, the comparison between this kid and that kid, the comparison that our parents did, because that's what they did. For our psyche, it doesn't let go of anything until things are healed and resolved. So just tune in and see where your choices and your actions and your behavior around food is driven by your beliefs that were formed in early years. So just connect the dots. That's all. When you're connecting the dots, that's increased awareness. Our beliefs and habits need periodic review and renewal. Just as we change our wardrobe or the color of paint in our homes, so should we upgrade our beliefs every now and then. 2. Certain beliefs need changing to continuously align with our higher purpose and values. Okay? Develop your emotional intelligence. That's a big one. So, emotions are a compass. Emotions actually are intelligent. When something is coming up to the surface, it's asking for you to digest it. It's because it has going around. So it's lingering around. It's like, why did you say I was lazy, for example, the other day? It hit somewhere and it's lingering around. So we got to do something with it. We got to put it to where it belongs, heal it, transform it, transmute it. Anger is only anger on the surface. Beneath anger is pain. Tune into emotions. Give your emotions a word. So you can move into actually what it is that you're feeling. That's a question that I continuously ask. What is it? What is your experience? They're like, this and that. So fine tune it. What is it? What's the reaction in the body? What does it remind you of? Have you felt this way before? So now they're coming closer and closer to what they're feeling, right? So it just really requires that we just take a pause. And if you're feeling something, it's not to run to a tub of ice cream, but just rather sit and feel it. When we sit and feel it, we are loving our emotions. We're loving ourselves. So hence my title, Do You Need Love or Food? So emotional eating is not something we need. We need food, but our emotions need love because the food only pushes the emotions down, making them bigger and bigger, like a volcano ready to erupt. We don't want that. That doesn't serve anybody. So tune into your emotions. Sit down, put your hand on your heart. What is it that you're feeling? Give it a name. Have you felt this way before? Where, when, how? Can you just allow yourself to open your heart and feel what it is that you are feeling? Feeling is healing. When you open your heart, you are healing something because the heart energy, the emotion in the heart is love, higher vibration, higher frequency. When you open your heart to anything that is other than love, it colors all the other emotions, turns them into love. As simple as that. So I outline a detailed process on how to do that. I didn't think I was going to talk about the second book, but it's all interrelated. I don't know if you can see. Wake Up and Heal. This is my second book, 6 Steps to Emotional Freedom. There's a 6A technique that I talk about here. It'll save you. It is such a powerful technique. It's magic. It does magic for my practice, for my clients. So take a look at that. In the podcast, we did 3 consecutive webinars that turned into podcasts. They're called Emotional Intelligence. They're below, before the number 50 hit. So take a look at those podcasts. Search in the podcast, wherever you're listening this from. Listen to those podcasts. There's a lot of information on how to deal with emotions. Okay. Take time to eat. That's also a big one. We are living in this grab and go culture. Quick fix. Get a granola bar that has all the nutrients you can imagine in it and no calories. And you don't have to prepare anything. And it tastes like chocolate. That's the world. That's the food world that we have, come to. It's like, don't do that. There's a place for grab and go, but really, if you don't have time to cook and you're too busy, then you're just simply too busy. Then it's time to look at what the heck are you spending your time doing. Take time to cook for yourself. Cooking does not have to be elaborate. When the corporations took over food, they made us think about food as this dish we have to prepare with 1,000 ingredients. Open your fridge. What's in there? There's some vegetables there. Something is there. Make it easy. And, in this book, I talk about how to make cooking really simple. Cooking should be simple, healthy, that everybody can do. It shouldn't be rocket science. And actually, it isn't. It can be a fun adventure. So start cooking, get in the kitchen, make your own meal, sit down to eat. Don't grab and go. Don't eat in front of the computer. Enjoy, because when we are not present, what happens? The psychological satisfaction is not there. When the psychological satisfaction isn't there, we continue to eat in the hopes that maybe we will get satisfied. We actually end up overeating when we are not paying attention to it. So when you pay attention to it, you're able to pay attention to everything that food has to offer, the different textures, the aroma, the taste of it, the flavor of things. Take time to chew the food and, make sounds like, oh my God, this is so good. I'm going to die. This is so good. Enjoy it. Let the enjoyment, let the experience register on your psyche. You have the time. Slow down, enjoy the meal. Because when we take time to eat, we are really then have a really well-rounded, satisfactory experience, not just on physical level, but emotional, psychological level. We get love. We feel love by eating with love, by cooking with love. Then we don't need to stuff our emotions. Okay. Pause before giving into cravings. Many times we go take seconds just because the food is there. We live in a world of overabundance of food. Only to realize that, actually I didn't need it. I have noticed that if I just eat and I just wait 5 minutes before taking more, I realize that I'm quite satisfied. Sometimes it's your eyes or the mind doesn't get satisfied because it's so good, you don't want the experience to stop. But if we can just pause, it's about the quality. The quality of experience is by taking the time to eat the food. It's not the quantity. The stomach, actually, the space in the stomach, I think I mentioned in the last episode, is actually quite small. It gets filled with just like two handfuls. It's a quality, it's the experience of eating that is missing, not the quantity. Um, Avoid extremes. Whether we're dealing with guilt, shame, or other emotions, we very often end up in a state of either overconsumption, or utter rigidity in our ideas. So this rigidity is, no, I don't eat that. I'm on a diet. No, I'm not going to touch sugar. What that gives rise to is binging on sugary sweet things on the other end, because our willpower gives out. We no longer have the willpower to carry on with that extreme choice. It's in moderation. Sweet taste is needed. It's okay to have junk food once in a while. So stay in the middle. It's about controlling the portions. It's about healing your emotions. It's about loving yourself and allowing food to be that extension of loving yourself. Okay. The thing about extremes is we just swing from one direction to one extreme to the next, like a pendulum. That creates a lot of anxiety. Assess your lifestyle. What do I mean with that? How many times a week do you eat out? Right? That can present a health challenge for many people, because no matter what, when you're cooking food at home, you are in charge of what goes in, the ingredients, the quality. When you're eating outside, you're simply not in charge. You have no idea of knowing or verifying what is it that you're eating. So yes, we go out, socializing is all fun, but how often? Can you cut it down if it is too much? I have so many clients that are like, actually, I don't even drink. The only reason I drink is because I'm out every night and everybody's drinking. So the solution was, well, don't go out every night. When I'm home, I don't drink. Well, then don't go out. Why are you going out every night? Reduce it. Reduce the alcohol. So I think there's move, and move. So we're talking about emotional hunger and emotions. The best body is the best medicine for your mind. We cannot heal the mind or the emotions with the mind, because that's where they came from to begin with. It's like a thief chasing the thief. Use the body, move the body. When you move the body, emotions are energy, the energy moves. Emotions change, you feel better. So mind body is integrated. We cannot sit there and talk about and analyze the heck out of our problems. We'll just only go deeper into it. It's called paralysis of analysis. Move the body, go for a walk, go shoot some hoops, go play tennis, go for a bike ride, go throw punches in the air, dance to music, put some music on and dance. Just move the body, whichever way your preferred way is. Move the body. Engage in your life. How do you engage in your life? Is to develop, is to participate, really is to take interest. What do I mean by that? How do I convey the idea to you? So, it's kind of like we have a problem. We keep on thinking, we immediately want to go to that expert or person without really understanding what our problem is. So by engage, I mean is give it a thought. What, where, why, how. Sit with it. Pay attention to it. What is it that's going on with you? So when you understand it, then when you seek out help, you are more in charge, because you know what you need help with. So, I never advise that you stay stuck. You do need an expert guidance. Many times we cannot see our own challenges, but at the same time, take time to educate yourself too. So the outcome when you're working with somebody is that much more profound because you participated. So that's what I mean by engaging in your life. Engaging in your life doesn't, it can be like a little being curious. What is this? Why do I do what I do? What the heck? Why did I do this? What happened in the childhood? Why my relationships are like that? Why my fridge is full with this kind of food? Why am I always eating at 11 o'clock at night? I'm not suggesting you are, just an example. So ask questions, take interest in your own life. Take interest in you, get to know you. So with that, I'm going to end today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. What did you take away from it? What is your struggle? I would love your comments. Like if you liked it, share if you want to share it. Subscribe to my channel. It's always nice to have more subscribers because then YouTube becomes nicer to you. And I think when you subscribe, it really doesn't, you don't get bombarded with anything. It's not like an email newsletter thing. It doesn't do anything to you, but it benefits me because YouTube becomes nicer in showing the content. It allows me to do other things. So subscribe. Thank you so much. I look forward to being with you next week. Thank you for listening to Igniting Change, Finding Your Fire. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and we look forward to being with you next week.